What's happening, guys? We are going to have a little bit of fun in a Mustang GT Convertible today. So, going to drop the top because it is beautiful. Just going to drop the handle down. We're going to rotate, so we're going counterclockwise. Lifting up. Okay, stop. Put the handle back. Here we go. Oh yeah. Nice and simple. Now, a few things about this specific Mustang. It is the GT 401A package, which is the highest package available inside of the Mustang lineup. This thing's like a tiny little bit of a beast. I'm gonna have some fun with it though. And like the one thing that's actually kind of surprising is that this thing's still for sale. I think the big reason why is because it's this like grabber orange, or twister orange, I guess technically is what it's called, but I don't know, it's bright. It says, hey. All right, I'm gonna do a few things. Drive modes, make sure we're in sport. And let's be in our sport gear mode as well. This is gonna be fun. Bump. Now this one also does have the GT Performance package, which means we're gonna get some pretty good performance out of this thing. All right, and here we go. $51 kilometers on, oh no, 51 kilometers to empty. 36 kilometers on this thing. That's it. Not too shabby. Now, one cool thing, this one, it's the GT Performance package. We've also got the adaptive cruise control system in here. Really, really nice. It's like literally that set it and forget it cruise control, which I am absolutely going to be using right now. Go, slowing us down automatically, picking us back up to speed. This is fun. Just listen to that pony roar. All right, gonna kind of break from tradition. Usually I'll like test drive going on the highway, but this is not gonna be a highway drive. Oh, that growl. Now the one thing I love, like you have at least regular cruise control inside of the Mustang, but having the adaptive cruise control, even better. Big reason why is because you might have a little, well, I know I personally, like when I get in behind the wheel of like powerful cars, I have like a little bit of a lead foot. So having something that can control how fast I'm going is really, really useful. Especially when you're in like a bright color like this, but it's nice. I gotta say, it is really, really nice. I love that pony growl. So this is going to be a little bit more of a quiet walk around. I really want you to experience what this is like. One of the best ways to watch this video is going to be if you're on a computer, or like even if you're using the YouTube app on your phone, also a really good way to watch it. And the reason why is because this is a 360 VR video. So you can just spin around. If you're on the computer, just take your mouse, click, drag around. If you're on your phone, if you're using the YouTube app, you can also just kind of swipe looking around using your finger instead. It's really, really cool. Like the adaptive cruise system, like it's such a brilliant system. Not as nice as this power. Nice. This is nice. I love it. So Mustang is supposed to be getting an upgrade very soon. Like I think Detroit Auto Show, Ford is going to announce the new, the S650 version of the Mustang instead. From like the early pictures that I've seen, the kind of like teaser images, it's kind of looking like a little bit like the Mach-E on the outside. I'm like really hoping inside we get that Sync 4 media screen, because I think like the Sync 3 screen is nice, it's laid out nicely. I think having the Sync 4 screen, like a beefy tablet screen in the middle there instead, would just look unbelievable. I'm curious though, because if they do that screen instead, I wonder if the toggle switches will still be there or not. Curious. Toggle switches you're going to find inside of the EcoBoost and the GT once you get above. So it's the 100A and the 101A, the 200A, and the 201A on the EcoBoost side of things. And then the GT 301A, 400A, and the 401A is when you'll get those toggle shifters. Oh, there we go. All right. So good. Oh, this is amazing. Amazing. It's just like this sense of freedom that you get inside of a convertible that you're just not going to be able to get when you're inside of a like the fastback version of the Mustang. Oh, this is really nice. I mean, what better? Beautiful day outside, nice country drive. Ah! This is really nice. And like one thing I really like about the premium versions of the Mustang, heated and ventilated first row seats, as long as you don't have the Recaros. So it's like the second you get into the Recaros, you lose that nicer capability, unfortunately, for the heated and ventilated first row. But I mean, if you don't care about it, you don't care about it, it's irrelevant. But it is really, really nice. It's a really nice feature to have. And here we go. It's so good. Oh, I love it. And like, it's because, so I've got the mode right now set to sport mode. Ooh, actually, I wonder what's happening with the exhaust. It's probably in sport right now as well. One of the cool things about this, oh yeah, it's in sport mode. But if we go to track, it's going to give us a beefier sound. It's pretty much like, so I've got a video showing how the active valve system works, but it's essentially going to open and close the valves up depending on whether it's in quiet mode, normal mode, sport mode, etc. So when you're in the quiet mode, it essentially shuts the valves, so it gives it a very, very quiet sound, versus normal mode, partially opened. What's flapping there? There we go. Seatbelt. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, this is really nice though. Oh yeah, so where I was going, oh yeah, the flaps. So, the flaps. So if you're in the active, when you're using the active valve system, quiet is going to be fully closed. When you're normal, you're partially open. Sport mode is more open, and then track mode is fully open. But it gives it such an incredible sound. Like, especially when you get into these different modes and you really dive into it and start playing around with it, it's really, really nice. But hold on, I'm just going to flip it into neutral for a second. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, we're going from stop to go. It's the one thing that I love about automatic, is it's just there. The downside to automatic, though, is that you're not going to end up getting the rev matching. So, I mean, it is nice with the automatic because you've got the sport mode, you've got your paddle shifters. I really do like the 6-speed having the paddle shifter, or having the rev matching, though. But, a little bit of a caveat, because if you're in the regular GT, you're going to have the GetRag D4 for your 6-speed. There's some people saying they've had issues with them. I get it. You could upgrade to an aftermarket Tremec if you wanted to, but you could also just look at going for the Mach 1 instead if you wanted that Tremec system right from the factory. Going to be a matter of preference, but I'm kind of hoping that Ford makes some pretty good announcements once we get the new S650 Mustang that should be announced literally in the next month or so. I'm super excited about it. I'm hopefully this thing is amazing. It looks like it. I did call out a couple months ago, I do think we're going to get a hybrid powertrain inside of the Mustang. I feel fairly certain about that one. Only time will tell if it actually happens or not, but I feel pretty dang good that a hybrid Mustang is going to happen, which means that we'll have an all-wheel drive Mustang as an option. Be kind of cool. Now, long term, I'm curious what way Ford's going to go with the regular sedan Mustang. And the reason why is because outside of the Mustang, there are no more sedans inside of Ford's lineup. So will we end up getting a sedan? Will the sedan just be no more? Will Ford continue on with it? It's a good seller, but I'm really curious what Ford's going to end up deciding to do with this car long term. The short term, we know it's getting the S650, which means it's not going anywhere for probably at least the next 4 years or so. Hopefully. I'm curious what's going to happen. Love it. It's such a powerful car. 450 horsepower will do it. And that's one thing, looking at the 21s to the 22s, it lost a little bit of horsepower, a little bit of torque. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time, you could technically just do an ECU tune if you wanted to get that power back and even more. It's a stage 1 ECU tune will bump you up to probably closer to 490-ish horsepower. It's kind of it's not an insignificant bump. You could also just do an aftermarket cold air intake, which will give you an extra 10 to 15 points there on top of that. It's interesting. So, obviously looking at this one, we've got that bright orange. It's a convertible. And looking at people that typically buy convertibles, they'll usually go for their blacks and whites and things like that. But this just stands out and pops that little bit more. I'm actually surprised that this thing's still available for sale. But Formula Ford has it available still. So if you're in the market for a Mustang that looks that little bit different than what you're going to find out on the road, this is a good option. And even if you're looking at doing something different with it, what you could do is look at buying it and renting it out on Turo. So, it's a really, really great system that Turo has there, but being able to just rent your cars out. So if you're business savvy, you want a nice tax write-off, it's a pretty good option there too. All right. Oh, is this road closed? I don't... No. It might actually be... I think you have to circle around by the look of it. Oh, well, whatever. If I got to circle around, I got to circle around. Have a little bit more fun in this car. Oh, no, it looks like it's open. Oh, yeah, that guy's going too. Okay. All right. Oh, this is nice, though. Like, that's the one thing that I love about convertibles, is that it's a convertible. You have the flexibility of just having fun with the thing. Top down, arms up. It's really nice. Oh yeah, the road is closed. I was like, oh no. Oh, hold on, I think I can get down. Oh yeah, I think I can go that way, okay. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I'm good there. Unless that is also closed too. All right, well, I guess we'll find out in a second. No, we're open here. Okay, good. All right. I mean, how nice is that? Now, one of the cool things, like I said, like you could look at buying this thing and renting it out on Turo. And one of the cool things there is that it is an automatic transmission, so you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of numbskulls like trying to fiddle with a 6-speed, not knowing what they're doing and destroying your clutch. So it's nice though. That's probably, like, I would say it is a really good option. I mean, obviously we're getting ready to go into the winter time, so you're not going to be renting this thing out in the winter, but I mean, if you look at Turo online for Mustang convertibles, those things rent out fairly frequently, like spring to fall. It's going to depend on your market, right? So another YouTuber, Lucky Lopez, and Lucky does dealership marketing and things like that, but he talks a lot about Turo. And I mean, obviously one of the big things is that look for cars that are going to do well in your market. Like, there are some Mustang convertibles on Turo locally in Durham region in the GTA that they sell. Or sorry, they rent, I should say. It's a good option. It's the one thing, like, just being in a car like this, just regular cruising, it's fun, but I mean, at the same time, like, you want to go, you want to have fun with this thing. Which I'm not saying it's not possible, but I mean, at the same time, you're going to want to open it up. And that's one cool thing, like taking it to the track, definitely possible. This is nice. Nice. So good. And like all of the small things, like, oh, we don't have a, okay, hold on, let's do this. 94.9 FM.
Tuning to FM 94.9.
So this one has the upgraded Bang & Olufsen speaker system, but amazing song, amazing sound inside of this thing. Like, the band is phenomenal, but I mean, I love the audio quality inside of this upgraded system. It is really, really nice. Oh, like a child behind the wheel of a 450 horsepower beast. Even just cruising. You know what? I don't feel bad about just cruising in this thing. It's nice. I honestly, like, I do love the seats though in this thing. Having said that, I really, really like the Recaro seats inside of this, but I personally don't think, unless you were going to track out the Mustang, like, I don't think it would be worth it to go for the Recaros. And like I said, because you lose the heated ventilated first row seats. So unless your plan is to track the car, like, I personally don't think the value proposition's there enough for me to be okay with giving up the heated ventilated first row seats. Like, that's just something I absolutely love about the Mustang, is in the premium having the heated ventilated option. So it's just a feature I wouldn't personally be able to give up to have the Recaro seats. But if I was buying the Mustang strictly to be on the track, that's where you'd probably be able to sway me to do it though. And even this thing being an automatic, like, I always just kind of default to having my hand on the shifter regardless. So, I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, I love driving manual transmissions and my hand just always defaults, but I mean, the shifter feels really good in the hand. Useful. And like, I haven't even had to drop it into sport mode because of how dang good these like drive modes are. It's really nice. I like it. This thing is definitely, it's a head turner at the end of the day. Like, it's a convertible, it's bright orange. You're gonna definitely turn some heads with this car. And it's got the power to boot. Like, there's just no comparing the 5-liter Coyote engine to the 2.3-liter EcoBoost. Like, there's just no comparison. Now, having said that, if you're in one of the 2.3 EcoBoosts, you could do ECU upgrades and things like that to get it pretty dang close to the performance of the GT. But I mean, you're not going to get this rumble. Like, you're just not going to get that in the EcoBoost whatsoever. Like, you could try different tips and things like that, straight pipes, but it's just not going to happen. And that's actually one of the really cool things I like about the Mustang, is that even though this thing's got the active valve exhaust, but one cool thing is that it is compatible with Borla and a few other companies, so you can still use the active valve system with the tips from other companies. So if you want different sounds, something a little bit more unique, you'd have that flexibility. And that's the same whether we're looking at the GT or the EcoBoost version of the Mustang too. It's kind of nice. Gotta get some pictures. All right, so while I'm setting up here, this, I should say, is the Mustang GT Convertible. What did you think? Pretty dang nice ride, killer feature set, but what did you think? Drop down in the comment section below and let me know. But if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, share it with your social networks, and until I see you next time, take care.